Hello, and thank you for coming to my channel. I apologize in advance if I kind of muck about in this. I haven't been running a channel or streaming for very long, and I get a lot of nerves right when I'm about to press that record or stream button. But suffice to say, I was just watching a video from Age of Noob where he did a wonderful job in summarizing the recent changes to Age of Empires 2 made to some of the factions and technologies. And one of them in particular touches on the Flemish Revolution, which is sort of at the heart of the controversy which has been going on since Lords of the West dropped and the Burgundians were introduced into the game. Since I am not playing during this, however, you may notice I am not wearing a headset, and that means I have an opportunity to wear a hat. So I'll just go fetch one for an octopus real quick. Thank you, Sammy. We'll go with this. So, in the patch notes, just to recap, a couple changes were made. The Turks had their cost for their artillery tech reduced. The Persians had their cost for their war elephants reduced, or at least modified, and the recruiting time reduced. The Slavs had a buff to the boyars, they got more armor. And the Burgundians, well, I'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I want to say I do think that these are some good changes and to the game that should bring life to some of the factions or unique units. War elephants are, you know, fun, and we all have childhood memories from using them, and you know, how do you stop them? They're so tanky, but obviously they don't see much use in ranked matches because they're just so costly and unwieldy, slow, and easy to cost effectively counter. Likewise, the Boyar, the Slav unique unit, I hope it gets some more shine. But the tech that the change that I really wanted to talk about was the change from Flemish Revolution. It used to cost 800 food and 450 gold, and now it costs 1200 food and 650 gold. I think, I'm not going to do math. I am not Spirit of the Law, but that's a substantial increase. Another change, the Flemish Militia unit had their bonus damage against buildings removed. So less base steamrolly thing happening now. Is this a good thing? Well, sort of. I think it's a change that makes the tech more balanced. Increasing the cost perhaps makes the tech more, and what it does, more balanced. And that is a good thing. I don't disagree with the change that is being made, but at the same time, I have a big glaring reservation that has been floating around in my head for some time, so I'm just going to make a video about it. The thing is, when the Lords of the West were dropped, there was a bit of outrage because, of course, you know, the new civs that, you know, are you know, they're pay to win, they're unbalanced, they're really strong. The Custiliers are causing havoc. And anyone can just research Flemish Revolution and win. And I do think that the Coasteliers were overpowered, and since then, they've had their bonus damage one-off or recharged hit reduced. So it's significant, but not quite as powerful as it once was. I think they, generally speaking, can't just one-shot archers and what have you, so they can be countered by mass range. So that was good, but the problem that I have with the Flemish Revolution is not that it is unbalanced. I'm not saying it wasn't balanced. Perhaps it wasn't. But this change is affecting the balance, and well, let me just say the problem I have with it. The Flemish Militia is a unique unit that you cannot access unless you research the Flemish Revolution tech. The Flemish Revolution tech converts all of your villagers into Flemish Militia, which can no longer harvest food. So you probably heard of, it's a trade-off, you lose all of your economy, or Spirit of the Law just did a recent video on like how long, like what is the actual cost if you're going to reboom and build your economy back again. How much is the tech costing you in that sense? And of course, it's a lot. As Viper said, it's a tech that ends the game. Whether you use it and you win and you steamroll the enemy, or you use it and you lose because you have no economy anymore. So you cannot recruit the Flemish Militia, which, by the way, are recruited from the town center, if you didn't know. You can't recruit the Flemish Militia until you research the Flemish Revolution tech. I don't like that. I think that the Flemish Militia is a cool unit. It's been described as sort of a hybrid between the Halberdier and the Champion. And that's an interesting role that we don't see very often. You could sort of argue that Viking Berserkers with the Chieftain tech can fulfill that role, but that's sort of a roundabout way of getting to that. We don't really have an infantry unit that is good as an infantry unit against other infantry, and can fare well against cavalry. So I like the sort of stats of the Flemish Militia, and I know they've been changed and tweaked a little bit, and I think that's perfectly fine. If they're overperforming for their cost, lower their performance or increase their cost, I can't really comment on that. But none of their cost and their stats do not matter outside the context of Flemish Revolution. After researching the tech, you are able to recruit them from your town centers, but it doesn't matter because the game is going to end, I think, as they're saying, like in the next 10 minutes. And that's true. Either you're going to wipe or at least permanently cripple your opponent, or you're going to go out there with your militia, they're going to die, and then you're going to have no economy to continue the fight. It's over. It's over either way. So you can't, there's not much point, unless you have a whole bunch of, reserves. They don't serve any purpose being recruited from the town centers after you research the tech. And I really don't like it, and I think, obviously, it would be much better if you could recruit the Flemish Militia from the town centers before researching the tech. And I don't think that really should have any impact on the tech itself. How much the tech costs, what have you. I would imagine what I would like to see is you're playing the Burgundians, you hit Imperial Age, you have a choice. You can continue with the cavalry line, as you probably are, maybe go into Elite Custilier or Paladin, or you can switch into infantry. And I think that's far more interesting than what we have now. As the Burgundians stand right now, they're a very cavalry-dominant civ, and that makes them kind of predictable. They do have a bonus towards their gunpowder units, which I think in this patch were buffed slightly, but we haven't seen hand cannoneers play a dominant role. So I think that's sort of just a niche. It doesn't really define the Burgundian civ as much as these Flemish Militia, a unit unique to the Burgundians, but no one can play without tanking their economy and ending the game. So I really wish that however the devs balance the Flemish Militia, or however the devs balance the Flemish Revolution tech, keep the tech as it is. That, it's whether people, some people may like it, some people may dislike it. Keep it, but allow us access to the unit without ending the game. It's a cool unit, and we love units in Age of Empires 2. How much do we talk about the unique units? The Huskarl, the Teutonic Knight, the Samurai, how much content to talk about the unique units is there? The Flemish Militia is one of them, but it also kind of isn't, because it's not possible to be used in the like any of the other units. It's a one-off sort of. It's locked behind the Flemish Revolution tech, and I don't think that is necessary. Make it able to be researched. Perhaps just once you hit the Imperial Age, you advance to Imperial Age, you can research the tech, convert all your villagers into the Flemish Revolution, and bank on that. Or take a bit longer, keep your economy alive, and either, as I said before, continue into Paladin or Elite Custilier, or maybe you can start recruiting and massing over time Flemish Militia. It's an interesting unit, and I think that would create an interesting and viable, if somewhat specific, late game strategy for the Burgundians. And while I don't think that the Flemish Revolution tech needs to go away, I would greatly prefer a late game strategy of using a cool, unique unit that the Burgundians have to a late game tech that ends the game. And I hope I've made my point. With that, that said, I really appreciate what the dev team is doing for Age of Empires. I do like the direction that the balance changes are going. I just wish this little change would be made, but I've rattled on enough, so I'm going to close this out. Thank you so much if you've watched so far, and feel free to check out some of my other videos. Bye!